Beauregard Rippey over here, Honda Heritage Center, December the 7th. It's a Thursday. We're currently open one day a week from 10 to 3 after being closed for 3 years. This is my third and I'll say final film I'm going to make. Doing a quick run around. I hope to be back in the spring. This is the Outdoor Power Equipment Division. I think they're based out of Alabama. I could be wrong. It was shown back in 2001. The CRX, did they bring that back? That was like the smallest one of the bunch. A 50 mile per gallon gas job. Very small car. Sort of a rare model there, wasn't it, from long ago. 1995 Accord wagon. A row of bikes. But yeah, a very sexy little CRX from 1987. Okay, yeah, they did bring that back, but it wasn't back long. And they did what they wanted, they being Honda. This was probably a pretty hot seller. I think it's a Civic Accord Coupe, I'm sorry. The CBX was kind of the large displacement. It was the real idea because of the taxation of the government that the larger displacement and weight bikes would be assembled in the United States to avoid the taxes. And the game was on from there. Like in 83, you think? 1980. So we went from that dirt bike to this guy, the top of the line. It's a Super Sport. They had the blue. They had a couple different pretty cool looking, and a couple different pretty cool cafe fairings. See, this one has less than 3 miles on it. It's it has a chain on it. A lot of times they would be missing the chain. It has a solid triple disc. So the king of the road bike, I call this one the 750 CB 750 of 1969. Beautiful example of a pretty well stocked one. 12,000 on the clock. Pretty similar to the 750. Oh, it is a 750. I'm sorry, I was thinking 550 with a single disc. And that's in the 60s. 69er. The tubs that were built, a lot of them in Mexico for America and Japan, and they would put these in the pickup trucks and go around town and sell them, but no one around here could buy one, but they were selling them in California and riding them up and down the beaches. And then Honda of North America was born in Torrance, and that's also home of a Toyota, all from the Empire of Japan. And they started their sales distributions and their dealerships from that point on. And there used to be a display of it over here, but they had like a Chevy pickup or a Ford, and they would bring all the parts over and put them together and sell their Honda Cubs. But the fuel injection, the good gas mileage one, that kind of, you know, and it's an Accord, I think, or no, this is a Civic, you think? And it's a hatchback car. A very cute Honda car. Yes, it's a Civic. We're going to go around this part here. So this is the handprints of Hiroshima. Right here, this guy. Yeah. He had a couple sons. And Taco. Hiroshima, I've been calling him Shikoro, and Taco. Taco was the man for a while. There's Hiroshima. They don't show the women. He had a wife. The way the Japanese, or their culture. For whatever reason, they made sure. I think this is sand like for casting the blocks, engine blocks, and your transmission castings. But for whatever reason, they preserved his hands in the sand, and that was right here in Marysville. Yeah, his last visit to Ohio in 1989. There's the old man. And there's the handprints. Just small hands and everything. Small everything. So it seems like they have the light pretty dim. NSX twin turbo engine. The new one, and this is the one that had all the problems and delayed the manufacturing for a couple years from what I was hearing. And then they had to build them in Ireland, which is where Cosworth is. The first part, there were problems with the block cracking. They were doing too much with it, and they ended up getting 600 horsepower out of the car somehow. But here we go, twin turbos. And this is how they're kind of mounted right here. It's like a little Lamborghini engine, but I'm pretty sure it's basically a Cosworth from Ireland. Yeah, purely speculative on my part, with the twin fuel injection coming in here in the front. It's one hot little 6-cylinder that took tons to develop finally. And this is kind of the simple design that it kind of went from here. 1.4, it's only 8 valve too, and it really didn't get very good fuel. And then this is kind of that motor that the Koreans copied off the Japanese. The iconic Honda motor right there. Some ingots showing, which it would be nice kind of to put the sand over by one of these into the casting plants. And we have tons of women that work in our plants here. The assembly's almost exclusively women staffed. Showing some of the parts that are cast here in the United States and shipped around from plant to plant. A flying cutaway in the center, which is a very beautiful piece of art. The 1200, so we saw one in there, it was 1100. It kept getting bigger. This is the 1200 Golden Wing engine and transmission. So we saw the 1.4 over there and went to this one here, and they started getting some fuel mileage out of them. It's a 1.6 16 valve VTEC. Boy, just that engine. It still has the distributor though, so they kept evolving from there. And that's where we were at in 1996. And over here in 98, they needed more displacement apparently. They went to 2.3 and got the same fuel mileage as a 1.8 with more horsepower. And they were still using that old unreliable right there ignition system from the Stone Age in 1998. This is a transmission only, transaxle, that we produced over the interstate here a few miles from here. Or no, over at Indian Lake. Our transmission plant, one of several. This is the CVT, and I like to show this because it shows the belt. There is a rubber belt encased in this metal skeleton, and here's the belt here that you can see I'm moving, and it gets hot and it slips. It's a torque converter, okay? it weighs like 10 times as much as a regular transmission. There is a filter. If someone says there's not, right there by the cooler in the Honda CVT. I shouldn't be touching it probably, but I just did. And it's really nice that you can do that. Some pretty sexy bearings. It's a large torque converter is what I call it. So here we finally got one with a modern day ignition system. A Civic turbo engine, 1.5, that's outperforming all the other. It's only 1.5, and that's the hottest engine for the passenger vehicle line that we've seen. And this is a little turbo, I think. Yeah, Civic turbo engine, getting 174 horsepower out of 1.5 liters, which is 1500 cc's, and cranking out, capable of 40 miles a gallon. So, are they showing a year? Because that's like light years ahead of the rest of them for the passenger car. That was neat to see that NSX engine over there. So this has a very sophisticated transmission with an auto shift, electronic auto shift. I'm glad I got my camera rolling. The Viatron or whatever sided skirts on the pistons. So they got some beautiful pistons and head assemblies. The rotating part of it, assembly, pretty smooth. Very smooth casting and precision machining at its finest. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Bogart Rippey over here, Honda Heritage Center, soft reopening December the 1st, 2022. Thanks for watching.